Hello and welcome. My name is TyrionLanstr. Alright, today there was a really big update just the other day that I want to talk about because it honestly is huge. So first of all, they are moving CCS back a week, so everyone should be aware of that. It's not going to actually happen yet. But wow, this was a huge update. First thing I'm going to talk about is Daena. I'm going to do a whole one on this new event because it's huge, and then I'm going to talk a little about this castle exterior business. You'll see it's pretty crazy what they did, but also it looks like there's a new treasure seeker event that's going to come up the next couple days. I think it's about 3 days, and then we'll see what that is, so I'll do one on that and we'll find out. But let's start with Daena. Alright, so if we go to our commander screen, we now see there's a new commander, Daena, and you can see from the level 20 that she is supposed to be one of these top 5, so now 6 commanders. Looks like she is going to be expensive to get. I expect the new actual mode that they're doing, the whole like battle for Essos thing, I think she's probably going to come up in there again at some point. It seemed like they were implying that. Alright, so she's a spear commander, and she gives insane buffs. So she gives 50% spear attack. She also has her awakening already available. I'll get to that in a second. But just think, when you're getting that like buff on the 50%, that's going to be like, I think, close to 80% spear attack, which is pretty insane, all things considered, if she's fully awakened, and that's not even including what her passive awakenings are going to be. So yeah, that's going to be insane. She gives 25% total defense, and then she has this new stat, Spearman Anti-Counter. She reduces the enemy infantry versus allied spearmen counter ratio by 25% at full rank. So what this is talking about is if you have spearmen going against infantry, those infantry get a buff and the spearmen get a debuff because it's a counter. So spear attacks against infantry do less damage, infantry attacks on spearmen do more damage. This is going to lessen that counter, and this is very similar to one of the dragon skills that has to do with counters. I actually don't have it unlocked, but that dragon skill, it's the counter skill. It's the same basic premise, and it's going to be really good. So comparing her to some of the others, like other top 5 commanders like Daenerys Targaryen, she gives 25% total attack. She gives the same 25% health and defense, but 50% total attack not total attack, but 50% spear attack is definitely really good if you are a spear solo castle. I think that comparing her to Daenerys, like Daenerys is good for all of them, but she's going to be really good, obviously, just for spear castles. If you're not a spear focused castle, she does not really do that much for you. I mean, that counter ratio is only helpful if you're using spears. The spear attack only helpful if you're using spears. So I'm very intrigued that they made her a top 5 commanders, what we kind of call them, but that's an interesting decision for them considering she's a single type. So, because what happens now is that it's someone that only benefits certain types of players. If you're a Cav player, this doesn't help you. If you're an Inf player, it doesn't help you. If you're a Bow Whale, not going to do anything for you. That being said, I think you are crazy not to try to turn yourself into a spear account now because she's going to be so good. So for someone like me, who's a Cav castle, I'm a little stuck because I can't imagine most whales don't convert to spear so they can get her and use her because she's going to be so good, and that might mean that I am just totally royally screwed. But hear me out. I have a belief that this means a lot of people are going to convert to infantry to counter her. Even though they get the debuff on the counter ratio, it's still more than nothing, and I think that this is going to mean more and more people are actually Inf front. I think that's a lot of people are also going to be spear front, but I think specifically the people that are spear front are people that can afford her. And at least in my opinion, I'm not going to be able to rally anyone that can afford her, so definitely not rally or solo really, but my thought is that people that are kind of mid-tier, which is right where I am, are probably going to want to go Inf to counter her, and then maybe I'll be able to use Cab against them. But I will say that I'm definitely going to switch out of Cab as my front line. It's not going to work as long as a commander like this is out there. People are going to solo a spear all the time, and I will die then, so that's not good. Okay, so her awakening skill. Basically what this says is that after the battle begins, spear defense are going to go up by 40% for the entire battle. Whenever an allied troop lands a total attack, a total of 10 weakness attacks, then you're going to gain a 60% shield for 3 seconds. They do note that the bleed damage doesn't have anything to do with the shield, it's totally separate. So I think this is really interesting because 40% Spearman defense is good. Like, that's a lot of stats. But this actually synergizes back with the weakness attacks that you got from Jamie. So what's interesting is that she really synergizes well with Peter Baelish, Jamie, and those setups. So I'm actually intrigued to see if they've already done this or not. But I expect that they will have added, like if I go to my Jamie, I'm certain she must be here. Okay, they haven't updated this yet, but I'm certain in the lineup recommendations they're going to add Daena in there because clearly she synergizes pretty well with those weakness attacks. But if you look at this formation now, my guess is that what you're going to start seeing is that the strongest spear formation is going to be probably Drake, Jamie, Hector, Peter Baelish, and then Daena instead of Lats. And that's going to be crazy. I mean, that is just a ton of spear stats coming at you, and wow, I mean, that's going to be terrifying, honestly. I think that might be a lineup that can just rip through just about anything. I'm intrigued to see how the bleed plays into it, just because it doesn't shield from bleed, but 10 weakness attacks will happen pretty quick, and that's a fat shield that you're getting from Daena. So I hope this helped in your decision of whether or not you're going to unlock her. We don't know exactly yet where she's going to be available. Sometimes it says it here. Let's see. Where can I source? Yeah, okay, it just says special rewards. So it looks like we're not sure yet. I gotta say, it's going to be probably really crazy expensive, but hopefully we'll find out soon enough. Until then, my name is TyrionLanstr, and I'll see you next time.